and welcome to Martin All Horsemanship. Here we are on Olaf, the 4-year-old Tennessee walking horse. You may have been following videos of him. He's here for a bridling issue, working out some things in his mouth. We just got a snaffle bit in his mouth, and you may have seen the ground driving videos that I've done. This is the first time I've been back on him since I kind of addressed the bit, excuse me, the bit issue on the ground with the ground driving lines. This is the first time that I've been back on his back, and so we'll just see how this unfolds. Before, what he was doing was he was just furiously shaking his head with the bridle, and he hated really going to the left or to the right. But today we're just going to ride him around in here, and all I'm going to ask him to do is to, at a walk, there ain't no use in putting energy behind it if they're not doing any better at a walk. There's no use in putting energy behind it. So I'm just going to kind of keep urging him forward here and get him to break over at the pole. And just ask him to walk around through here. And right here, we're just going to ask him to break over at this pole right here. Push him up in there a little bit. Right there, he broke over. So I give him the reins. Now, you might say, well, why don't you hold him there? Well, because we're rehabilitating what I think someone has done wrong. And when you rehabilitate like this, then you want to definitely give or take away and have him get to the pressure and then reward the slightest stride. So right here, we're just going to ask him to move forward here and break over at that pole. Push him up into that with my heels and encourage him. He's wanting to shake his head just a little bit, but not too bad. Right there we go. Now that's better. Ask him to break over at that pole right there. So ride him on around through here. Maybe we'll do a turn right here. He's still not very solid in the mouth, so to speak. I personally wouldn't ride him out of an enclosed area right now because I don't feel like that I have the control that I need. We'll get him a little bit better for that. Get him ready for that. Right here, I'm just going to encourage him to move out. Right there. Now he's wanting to break over at that pole a little bit. Right there. Kind of like that. So we'll just play around with him in here and go one way, go the other way, turn him one way, turn him the other way, and just really get this horse moving around in here. Right now he's starting to want to work a little bit. Now he's looking pretty good. Hold that head down there a little bit for me. Just ask him to give to that pressure. Got to encourage him with my legs here a little bit. Like that. Notice my arms are down low. Right there. Now, when they start blowing like that, they're ready to start submitting. A little bit different with him right there. A little bit different with him because he's got that, he's a walking horse, and he's just kind of out of balance right now. He's a young horse. He's never been taught anything, and he's just really out of balance. And he don't really even know how to conduct himself in his walk yet. So right here, we're just going to ask him to break over at that pole. I'm urging forward because I want to push him up into that bridle. Right here is not what we want. We don't want him backing up because every time you go to put pressure on him, it's what he starts doing. So you notice I just topped him out of it. Not a big deal. That's what he was doing with the owners. So he was just refusing, and then like that, wanting to back up. So right here, I'm just going to talk him out of it and say, okay, I'll just make the wrong thing difficult and the right thing easy. So when he stops dead in his tracks like that, you don't want to work, we're not asking him to do a whole lot here. All we're simply asking him to do is walk around this pen. So, like right here, just urge him through that. Just urge him through that. You ain't got to get all loud and go to beating and a banging and carrying on. Just be more persistent than he is. But compared to the way he was, I'm pretty pleased. So we're going to turn him right here Ask him to go another way. Just break the monotony here just a little bit. All I'm doing is getting a feel, what I call putting a feel on his mouth. We'll drop my hands down again and encourage him here with my legs to push up into that bridle. And I think that's where the argument comes from. You see the difference? The difference here, let me explain something to you. The difference here, let me stop him here. Ooh, back him up a piece. The difference here is that before, and I don't know this, I'm just speculating, but before, because he's a walking horse, I say this, and sorry, any walking horse people out there, I love you. I'm not trying to offend you, but I know what I know. I know it's to be true. Most of the time, and again, I don't know his history, so just bear with me a moment. I'm just speculating. And that's what I have to do a lot in this business, because I don't know the whole history. But most of the time, walking horses are put in a big bit at a young age, they're held on to, and they're drove forward. I'll repeat that. They're put in a big bit at a young age, held on to, and drove forward. Now, by him stopping, when I start to really encourage him with my legs, but yet ask him to break over at the pole, that tells me that that's he's having a flashback. He's like, nope, I ain't having this. This is the way I was brought up, and I'm not going to deal with it. But what he's not knowing yet, and it's not his fault, but the light bulb will go off, is that I give back. That's the key right there. Give me 5, 6, 7 strides, and I'm going to give you your head back. We're going to build on that. Give me 10 strides next time. I'll give you your head back. Give me 15 strides, 20 strides, so forth and so on, and I always will give it back. I'm not just going to hold you there. So that's what he don't know. But that's what I'm here to teach you. So again, like right there, he just got him a break. So I'm going to urge him forward here again. And I'm just going to ask you to simply walk with a little bit of cadence. Right there. Now look at there. Now look at there. You see, by being good to him, look at there now. By being good to him, he's recognizing, hey, this guy, this person, he gives back if he takes away. Right there, I'm going to give it to him. So now we're going to work on some things. Let me go this way. Urge him forward, urge him forward, urge him forward right here. Now he gets that walk going. And hold on to that nose just a little bit, that mouth just a little bit until he drops that nose. Right there. Now we're just going to let him walk. No tension on the reins at all. So, by always rewarding, then the horse will always give you something in return. So right here, we're just going to do some simple turnarounds with him. Not a big deal. I'm really wanting him to pivot on the forequarters and turn his hindquarters around. And he'll pick it up. You can see him kind of wanting to take that head around a little bit. It's just for the simple reason he don't want to. It's not because he can't or this is too hard. So we're just going to hang in here. You notice I ain't moved my arm right there. Right there come a couple good. Go this way and just teach this horse how to maneuver. I don't think he's ever been taught how to maneuver. Right here, we're just going to wait on it. He don't like it, but he'll get over it. Waiting on that rear end. Right there's front end. Don't want that. That's later. Right now we're wanting this rear end. Here it comes. He always gives me one time. Here comes the rear end. You get a 360 on this front end here. We might go to something else. Right here. Just got to wait on this horse. Wait on this horse. Kick his rear end. There comes a step. Let's just work on a step at a time. Right there, he gave me a step. So I'll drive him forward again and turn this rear end around. Slide this leg back. Get this rear end to step over. Get this rear end to step over. Right? Don't want to back up. We don't want to turn around. We want this what? We want this rear end. Right here, he's wanting to. He'll lay down on you. This old horse will lay down. We've all witnessed it here. Here comes the rear end, maybe. Here it comes, right there. We can get him more solid in that and more comfortable in that. I think this horse is going to be okay. What's it got to do with the problem he came with? It's got everything in the world to do with it because he's not been taught in the bridle correctly. He don't have the fundamentals. He doesn't have the very first foundation of creating a good bridle horse. So right here, he's wanting to refuse a little bit. Now look here. We'll slide this leg back. That's important. We'll slide that right there. Comes that rear end. I release. See how I release? Look. No more hand on that rein. When I release, I release. I don't just do my elbow like that. I release. I let go of it. So I'm going to slide down, pick his nose up again. That's front end. Right there comes the rear end already. See by releasing and giving him a reward, how well they do? They just need to know they can do it. Let's work on this side. Take this nose away, slide this leg back, and get this rear end over. This little move right here is right there. So important. Right there. Right there. Good. Good. Good job, Olaf. That's what I want to tell him. It's good job. I'm telling him that with my hand, not with my mouth. He don't understand English. Good job, buddy. So right here, we'll pick up, take this nose away again. Wait for this walk. For this rear end to come over. Now here it comes. Now here it comes. There it comes. Good. Look at him. He's a different horse. Just knowing that he can do that. Right here, we're going to break him over at the pole first. Then we're going to ask him to back up. Break him over now. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Right there. Now let's go around a couple more times, and this video is going to be almost finished for today, for this session. And that's another thing. Someone asked me one time, could I please tell them what I do when the camera, when we stop videoing? Well, if I say the session's over on the video, then the session's over. I'm not a lying man. I don't keep going. So right there, that was a little bit of refusal. That was a little bit of the old history that he had. So right here, we're just going to draw his nose in here just a little bit, not much, right there. Right there. Ask him to go forward in this. Ask him to go forward. So he's wanting to step up and say no, like right here. We're going to change his mind, change his mind, change his mind, say go forward. Right here, now I ask him to do it again. Just ask him to break over that pole. Just going to take a little bit of work. Right there. Now release him. Now he can go where he wants to. Now we'll go this way. I always give back what I take away. So I'm going to ask him this way, break over to that pole. Pretty nice. We'll hold him here just a minute and relish in that. Drive him into that right there. That's good. So let's go back in here. We just do the twisting and the turning. You can't do too much of it. Right there was a little head shake. And that's, believe me, folks, I'm not hardly pulling on him. This old big horse, the way you're going to win with this horse is consistency. You're not going to out-muscle him. You're not going to outdo him as far as muscle goes. But you're going to, every day, he needs to be taught every day that he gets out of that stall, he's got to come out here and perform or do some of these things. Like right here, he's wanting to refuse again. We'll slide this leg back. There comes that rear end. Good. Just let him know you did good. That's all you got to do. Let him know you did good. He's got a funny mouth. If you're not careful, you'll get this horse over on you. We'll do a couple more times here. Bend him right here. Step this rear end over. Don't want the front end. So I'm waiting, you see. I'm waiting. Right here comes the rear end. Right. No, that's front end. That's front end. Right there comes a little bit of the rear end. Let's lay it on it a little bit better or cleaner. Right there it comes. Good. And a lot of times it's just the fact they don't understand they can do it. So right here, we'll break him over at the pole, back him up. Move this front end over a little bit, right there. Now, that's a pretty good little session for Olaf. He's got a long ways to go. We're like Smokey and Bandit. Smokey and the Bandit. We got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. But he's doing all right. And I'm going to quit that session for him today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask. And we appreciate you watching, and God bless.